I'm still alive. So what I did was that they told me where to go to, and they were like, go to the police station of the city, and they're close to that area. I was like, okay, cool, thanks for letting me know. So I went ahead, because like I went all the way out there, like where I thought they might be, where I've seen them before, and like there was no one. And I was like, where in the world? Because usually they're by the hospital. And so like in this case, so they were not by the hospital, and I'm like, where are they? Like, that's really weird. So I went ahead and like called. It was like that, or like I'm 90% sure the police will know where homeless people are at. So I went ahead and called, and I was like, hey, I called like there were like two non-emergency lines. And so I called both of them. One was for like, was it fraud and some other stuff, and so I called there, and then I called another non-emergency line, and they have hours of operation, so basically they end probably about 5, maybe 6 o'clock, and I was like, okay, this is not helping me at all. Like, what do I do? So I went ahead and like I ended up calling 911. I know it sounds like a complete and utter waste of resources, but I was like, you know what, these two other lines are not available, and I like, this pizza will not be good like after so long. So I was like, I'll go ahead and call the emergency line, and like hopefully they can pick up and answer my question. So I went ahead and called 911, and I was like, hey, I have like 5 pizzas here. It's 5 pizzas. And I was hoping to give it to some homeless people. But like I'm up here in like the northern part of the city, and like I don't see anyone. And the lady asked me, it was a female operator, and she asked me, which pizza location are you from? And I told her like, I'm from the city of C for Charlie. I'm from that one, but I was like, I don't see any homeless people here. So I'm like, oh, like I want to deliver. I mean, aside from the fact that I'm a delivery driver, but like I want to give pizza to them, because I'm like, okay, what else can I do? Basically, it's like, let me do this instead of letting it go to waste. So she's like, yeah, and she seemed kind of like maybe bitter about it. And I say that because the main city, they actually passed a law probably in the last week or two. I think they passed it, or it might be going through the House. I'm 90% sure they actually passed it, where basically you can be fined up to $1,000 and spend a certain amount of time in jail. I smell smoke. Where you basically can spend a certain amount of time in jail. I know basically it's like you will be fined at least $1,000 if you go ahead and drop homeless people off in the city. Just like and so they went ahead and passed that law. And it's like, okay, that's interesting. I didn't realize people would actually come through and like drop homeless people off. The comments underneath that post, because this is on Facebook, was basically people saying, oh yeah, it's the police departments in the neighboring cities that are basically picking up homeless people from their city. Am I good? Okay, I think I'm good. It's basically people in like, or the police in the neighboring cities. So in the city of C for Charlie, the city of P for Papa, like in those cities. I don't know about the city for B for Bravo, but I know like the cities on the east and the west, they're like, yeah, basically the cops over in those 2 cities, they pick up the homeless and they drop them in the downtown of the main city. I was like, really? No way. Oh my goodness, what? So yeah, so if they start to do that again, then they'll be fined $1,000, because it's like we have a homeless, like basically this is a lot of people are leaving the city because it looks bad. But honestly, I don't know what causes people to become like, I don't know each individual person's situation of what causes them to be homeless. I know it's like some people are suffering with PTSD. Some people are getting out of prison or out of jail and they don't really have anywhere else to go. So yeah, it's like, itchy. So like, yeah, I'm not 100. Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure why people become homeless, but I do know that, like, they're still human beings, basically. So, anyways, I talked to the 911 operator. She suggested basically go to an area where there's police, basically, not where there's police, but like the police headquarters. I was like, okay, cool, thanks. So, I went ahead, she asked me which restaurant. I explained to her, and then I went ahead and went over to the police station. I get there, right as I get it close, I'm looking around and I don't see any, like, homeless people. I'm like, where are they? Like, I came all this way to, like, deliver pizza, and where are they? So I get up there, and then as I like circle back around, because I'm like, maybe they're on another street. So I circle back around and I realize that there's like a guy riding a bicycle, and then like it looks like a group of like maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 people lying down sleeping, and they're tired, so I get it. So I was like, my thing was like, wait a minute, are those like, okay. And so like I realized it was a group of like at least a couple other homeless people, just based upon the guy on the bicycle. So like I parked a couple of spaces just past them, and yeah, so I parked a couple of spaces just past them, and then I got out because I didn't want to do it like right beside them and just burst their bubble. So I parked a couple spaces just past them, and like I got out. I was like, hey, do you guys want some pizza? And they're like, yeah. I was like, yeah, sure. And so I went ahead, I put them in the passenger side, and I was like, I asked them, how many pizzas do you guys want? I have 5. And they're like, well, probably all of them. I was like, okay, that's fine. And so like I got rid of all 5 pizzas. I think there was one that was vegetarian with sausage. Another was like, it looked like a meat lovers. Another was pepperoni. So that was 3. I forget, I think one was thin crust. Yeah, one was thin crust. I don't know what the other one was. Or I can't remember. I just remember whenever I looked at it earlier, I was like, hey, like, these are the kinds of pizzas. Do I want these? No. So, yeah, I went ahead and basically, like, went through them, and, like, earlier, whenever I was seeing if there was anything that I wanted, and I was like, oh, okay, like, here's all this pizza. So, yeah, I gave that to them, and then gave them, like, I had 6 bottles of water, and it's like, I went ahead and gave those to them too, because like I don't know what caused them to be in their situation. I thought it was awesome, especially I think one person may have been a female. I don't know, like I saw I think 3 heads pop up, so my guess is just for safety, like they may sleep together in groups, so like sometimes they'll like kind of watch out for each other, basically. And it's like, okay, do I need this? Do I need something warm? Do I need like soap, shampoo bottles, things like that? And so like this way, like maybe one person can stay awake and then the other 2 sleep, and they can sleep in shifts. And it's like I'm hypothetical. If they're doing that, like I understand, like I get it. It's like, okay, it's better to license plate of this car says "Hey Bug." um, so yeah, in this case, like, I really honestly don't know what caused them to be in this situation. I do know that I went ahead, and I don't even know what caused it or how that happened. Like, what happened was that I gave them the stuff, and then there was the man who I asked, "Hey, do you want some pizzas?" He was like, "Thank you, ma'am." And he seemed to really appreciate it. It's like, hey, you know what? Whenever you're like, you have nothing, like, the generosity of others you rely on, and you don't take things for granted. It's like, that stuff could be taken away at any time. And then you're pretty much left with, like, nothing, basically. So, yeah, so you're pretty much left with nothing. And it's like, I have no idea what caused it, but all I know is that right now, like, they're not in a place where it's like, this is what I chose. Because if it was something that they chose, like, more than likely they would, they would either live in their car, like me, or like they might be in a homeless shelter maybe, but those aren't necessarily the safest places. There's two, and then the other one is, like, one lady I remember, she actually did an OnlyFans, and during the time that she was doing OnlyFans, she went ahead and, what did she end up doing? Yeah, during the time that she was doing an OnlyFans, like, she was trying to save up money for a car, and so, like, she was making enough money to kind of make it, but she was spending her money so much on, like, Uber Eats and things like that. And so I was like, go ahead. I think I mentioned to her, like, go ahead, buy, like, a bunch of food from Walmart. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I mentioned this. Like, I told her, buy a bunch of food from Walmart, and then from there, that way you have enough food for, like, a week or 2 weeks, even if it's canned food. And then that way it ends up being a lot cheaper than, like, to-go food. But yeah, so anyways, I went ahead and gave them the food and, like, got into the car and just, like, drove away. And as soon as I started driving away, I just started crying. I'm like, why am I crying? Like, I have no idea why. Oh, my only guess is because it's, like, just me and my situation. But, like, in my case, I chose that life. And then, like, in their case, they probably didn't choose that life. It might be because of PTSD, but, like, knowing that they sleep together in communities just to kind of watch out for each other and make sure each other is safe, it just lets me know that, like, it could have been anything, honestly. Like, I don't know what specifically. It could be, like, their family, for whatever, they might be drug addicts. Drug addicts is a small portion, I'd have to say, of, like, homeless people. Though, at the same time, I'm not 100% sure because I am not around them all the time, so, yeah. Yeah, again, I don't know what caused it, and I'm like, man, that sucks. But at least I know for the future where to go for feeding basically the homeless. Because I know, like, that just sucks. Like, a lot. So, yeah. Especially when, yeah. So, yeah, I would definitely have to say, like, working in service industry, it can kind of humble you. But then also, like, living a homeless life, that can also be very humbling because you're pretty much at the whim of anyone else. It's like, okay, am I going to have food today? I don't know. Am I going to have money? I don't know. I still remember this one guy who was homeless, and like he had a storage unit. A storage unit was honestly like very affordable. I think it might be like $50 or $75 a month. So like for a place to live, it's like $600-$800, depending upon which part of the country you're in. But in his case, if he scrounges up like $100, then that basically pays for the storage unit. And I remember, like, he had a bike, and he was riding the bike, and he had a huge bag, like a duffel bag. And as he was riding past me, like, his storage unit was a few units down. As he was riding past me, he's like, "It's laundry day." And so, yeah, I thought that was neat, where it's like, okay, you're only paying X amount of dollars, and you're doing this. And during the time that you're doing this, like, you're paying for laundry and such, and it ends up being a lot cheaper than something else. So I'm like, yay. So, yeah. Since I'm closing tomorrow night, I'm also going to take all those pizzas, whatever's left, and basically, like, take them downtown and, like, just from now on, whenever I work, and just donate them over there. Because, like, they're, like people don't see them, like, some people might see them as human beings, but I know other people, they don't see homeless people as human beings. And I'm just like, why? Like, people want better health care for, like, our military. We're like, hey, we need to help out, like, people who are drug addicts. Or, like, maybe with mental health issues. But it's like, we don't want homeless people either. And it's like, just donate your food there. Like, that way they can go ahead and, like, yeah. I think that's about it that I can think of. I'm still alive, so yay. I'll go ahead and do that from now on. I think so, yeah. I'm gonna go inside and brush my teeth, get ready for bed, go to bed. It's already a bit late, and I'm just like, I want to sleep. So, yeah, I bought a thing of strawberries. Earlier I had a headache. I was like, why do I have a headache? Usually it's related to sinuses if I do have a headache. So I drank some water, didn't help. I went ahead and ate some strawberries. That helped a little bit. And then I ended up eating that chicken nugget with like bacon and barbecue sauce. That really helped. I think it was just like my body was like, you need to eat, and so by eating food, it's like, okay, you're good. I think that's all I needed, honestly. So, yeah. And now I know, so that way I'm not driving around for like an hour trying to find where I donate all this stuff. Instead, I drive for like 30, like there and back, or 30 minutes instead of like an hour and a half. Yeah, it took me like an hour and a half from the time I left to the time I got back. So this will cut my time in half. So that way I get back here before 3 and am in bed before 3 instead of being like, yay, I'm done by like later time. So yeah. Anyways, I'll talk to you later. I hope that you have a great day. And yeah. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Love you.